Well, what's fascinating about how you connecting all the stuff that you just mentioned, and how the stone circles plug into that knowledge. It's just mind blowing. And at this stage, it seems like it's the Anunnaki that built the stone circles. Everything points to the Anunnaki and Enki and all that whole crowd. But what's interesting is the fact that they're 10 million, more or less 10 million. I mean, I said it could be 5 million, it could be 12 million. Who cares? It's a shitload of freaking stone circles that clearly there was no population here at that stage to build it. And so that creates a huge historical problem for our academia, our historians, our government, that are bringing, all kinds of interesting land issues and things like that into the argument.
We have some details on that history. So Graham Hancock usefully concluded that almost every ancient civilization that died and needed to be rebuilt after apocalypse, who arrived to save the civilizations was a group called Apkallu, which we later learn is the Enki Thoth team, actually. Also called Ningishida or Viracocha Quetzalcoatl, many names, same function. And the symbol of that, of course, was his caduceus, which we now know is called phase conjugation. And so the skill they were bringing to save the civilizations was the skill to create the implosive force, which is life force itself, which is what's behind. So now, we also played with many of the groups from the book was called Seeds of Knowledge, Stone of Plenty, which proved that most of the ancient sacred stone structures, one of the primary functions they served was to cause seeds to germinate. And, they didn't live in their sacred stones. No. They triggered their bliss rituals, and they triggered their seed germination. And once you know that the reason a seed germinates is only if it implodes, gets centripetal, or get dead. So
it's interesting.
But now our sources, I have to say, on these ancient civilizations says that the Anak Empire, which was centered in Sirius B at the time, did bring a huge wave of pyramid buildings, very still true at the time. But that pyramid building to stabilize atmosphere and gravity on planets, they're called gravity diodes actually, existed in thousands of ancient civilizations, even long before the Anak Empire arrived here. Because functionally, to stabilize an atmosphere or stabilize gravity and therefore atmosphere on a planet, you required what's this called a gravity diode, which is this implosive capacitance that stabilizes gravity and therefore atmosphere. The book on that is called 2/3 by David Myers, David Percy, and we have all the graphics there at pyramidwirelesspower.com. So these were devices not just for telepathy and DNA radio. Practically, they were power devices. And just to be clear, when Tesla was out there on the lawn trying to light the light bulbs from his high voltage tower and failing, he had the frequencies wrong and he had the nodes at which he placed the light bulbs wrong. He didn't actually understand that the longitudinal nodes were the only places. The pyramid builders, every single one of the pyramids is at a longitudinal node only, and Tesla didn't get it. And every single one of those pyramids is that Schumann harmonic cascade, and Tesla didn't get that right either. Whoops. Is your voice, are you muted? You're muted, Michael. Yep.
I muted myself because my dogs are running around barking like crazy. So if you hear dog barking, it's that time of the day where people walk past the house and the dogs go crazy. It's their afternoon fun time. So
nature, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. So the few things I want to just pick up. So you said something really important. They were energy generating devices. So this is obvious. We know this because already in 2010 was the first time that we measured electromagnetic fields, magnetic fields, and sound frequencies coming from the stone walls or the stone circles. And that's what triggered this entire, oh my God, we're dealing with energy generating devices. How does it work? And then I figured out that they are literally just picking up, they're amplifying the Schumann or the sound frequencies coming out of the earth. And because they're not on a beautiful flat metal plate, like when you do cymatics experiments, because it's on the surface of the ground at steep angles and the soil, there are no two stone circles that are the same. Each one is completely and utterly unique because of the surface upon which they are built. So they obviously, the builders knew exactly what the cymatic pattern looked like,
How to
and they
tune them.
placed the
Yes.
stones along that cymatic shape to extract the frequency and amplify it into the walls. Now,
Yes.
this is what's interesting.
Just
So
not to interrupt, but I have a lovely graphic of that. If you could just enable screen sharing, it'll show the frequency signature of what you just showed.
yes, go ahead.
In other words, so we were working with Sam in his Bosnian pyramids, and are you seeing my screen here now? Yes. So this is the Schumann harmonics on the right in green here, and this is Planckfire.com, the frequencies by equation, which shows why the Schumann harmonics are what they are. And this is exactly the frequencies of the brain waves that triggers bliss and bilocation and teleportation. So now we take that graph of that perfect Planckfire.com cascade. And here in Sam's Bosnian pyramid and other places, we've measured exactly these frequencies from that golden ratio cascade, including his 28 kilohertz on the roof. So as 1 million people a year arrive at Sam's place and get rejuvenation, here is the measurement of the frequencies that building is tuned to, which is precisely the Schumann cascade. Notice 7.83 is in this cascade. So the phase conjugate pump wave that made these buildings implosive and therefore regenerate people is teachable and tunable by frequency signature, which is beautiful. I think it really carries the kind of thing you're saying now to maybe a next level by making it tunable and teachable.
Yeah, to pick up on what you just said, and the measurements you did with Sam at the Bosnian Pyramid, by the way, I'm going to be there in June doing it. Aren't you? Are you there as well?
No, we made a couple of videos together, and Valerie's been there several times, but I'm a little too crotchety right now. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to be there in June, doing a little workshop with him.
Nice. He's great.
So because the stone circles amplify the good frequencies of the earth, this is what we should be resonating with, not cell phones and cell phone towns and TVs and all the stuff that destroys our cell and our biology. The stone circles actually turn out to be healing devices.
Exactly.
So already early in 2008, I started to get people reporting back to me saying, I had a headache, or my back was aching, or my blood pressure was crazy. And now, after being in the stone circle for half an hour, it's gone. The pain is gone, or this is gone. And it just carried on. More and more people were giving us, what do you call it, testimonials that they healed of some sort of ailment.
Exactly.
And slowly but surely, up to 2015, when a lady from Vermont came out, and she came out twice in a row, 2 years in a row, on a Sacred Sites tour with me. And I only learned in 2016 that she had cancer, and this was like her final trip. And she came on a tour with me. After the tour of being in many stone circles, she went back to Vermont, went to her doctor. The doctor said, "What have you been doing? Because your cancer is receding. Do more of that." So she came back the next year. We did another long tour, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Swaziland, and she went back and her cancer was gone. So
that's the physics. And this is precisely what's behind a half a dozen of my recent inventions: piezofire.com, originally Therify.net, which is now PhiRay, PHI, And they take this exact frequency signature, which is implosive and spits out coherent longitudinal directionally and implosively. And that's the neg entropy that's healing, actually. And so as the body gains centripetal force, it's more self-organizing. And that's the physics behind all of our programs, Planckfire.com, which I'm sure I would like to help you measure in your sacred sites.
Yeah, I'm going to take you up on that. Absolutely.
Flameinmind.com, flameinmind.com/lifeforce. It's literally a brainwave measurement device, very simple. And because of the capacitive coupling to the carbon, the EEG sensors, you can use it to measure sacred space, and you can use it to measure electrosmog in your living room also. And you can use it to measure brainwaves to teach bliss, and you can use it for binaural beat bliss. And so you place that in your stone circle and measure the weak harmonics, which, if it's working correctly, will be the Schumann harmonic cascade. And that's how we measure what Sam's spaces. So you could actually then begin tuning those spaces.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'm gonna take you up on that.
Great. We're going to
Um,
help you.
uh,
All good.